let's go ahead and get into this. Jay, I'll give you first crack at it. Why do you like the Kings in game one versus the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah, it's a huge spot for the Sacramento Kings, right? Obviously first home playoff game in a while, I believe since the early 2000s. This one I think that it's going to be rocking. I actually like the Kings early and often in this one. Now, obviously they could be a little bit uptight, right, for not being used to being in this spot, but I think this is a huge game for them. You got to come out with the win if you want to have a chance in this series. You don't want to go down 0-1 to the Golden State Warriors. We know that they have struggled on the road. I do expect them to win one of these games. So it's crazy because whatever happens in this one, the opposite, I will take the next game. But in this first game, I will take the Kings in this one, laying the point. I believe De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, they can get it going here, and it'll probably take a little time for the Warriors to figure out their matchup advantages as well. As the series goes, as it goes longer, that's probably the advantage for the Warriors. But early, I think the Kings have the home court advantage in this one. It's going to be rocking in there. I think they're going to light the beam here in game one. Give me the Kings.
All right, AC, what's your take on why you like the Kings here?
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at both teams in a vacuum right now, the Warriors are in better form because the Kings, they're 1-4 in the last 5 games. They're 1-6 against the spread at home in their last 6 games. The Warriors, everybody talks about their struggles on the road. Matt, you and I kind of dive into this every single week. But head to head, they kind of dominate this matchup. They are 8-1 straight up in Sacramento against those same Kings. With all that being said, most of the books that you can go to, the Kings are favored. I think it's a huge tell by the books here. The Kings have been the better team the entire year. We know that they have an elite offense, and with the Warriors, their offense is touch and go. I think a lot of it's going to be dependent on their third quarter. I like the Kings. I'm surprised Jay didn't do his trifecta spot because I think the Kings come out and win first quarter, first half, and full game.
Okay. I think you're both wrong. I think you're both wrong. I'll tell you why. I brought this up on our podcast today with Raheem Palmer. Jay, do you remember the 2014 Toronto Raptors first round series versus the Nets? Do you remember that series?
I actually don't, to be honest. A lot
So
has
that was
happened
the
since
first
then.
time in like a long time that the Raptors had made the playoffs, right? They have this like amazing season after they trade Rudy Gay, and it's Kyle and it's DeMar and it's all these guys, and there's so much hype. And they open the weekend, and there's the big panning shot of Jurassic Park. This is an incredible crowd, and like Masai's out there being like, "Fuck Brooklyn," all this stuff, right? Like it's crazy. That is a lot of pressure and nerves. That's a lot of pressure, especially for young, inexperienced teams that have not been in this spot. De'Aaron Fox has never played in a playoff game. Domantas Sabonis has played in playoff games. He has not played in a game one in a franchise spot like this versus the Warriors. Like Harrison Barnes has been there, but like Kevin Herter's got a playoff run in him. He knows about big games, but like that's where we're talking. Harrison Barnes and Kevin Herter. All the other key players, Keegan Murray, rookie, Davion Mitchell, second-year guy. This is an extremely high-pressure spot for a Kings squad. You talked about like the adjustment. Teams do not adjust well to Golden State. Steve Kerr's record in these game ones is absolutely phenomenal for a reason. It takes a while for you to adjust the Warrior style of play. Speed, movement, all these types of things. There is a tendency for teams in this kind of situation to get tight. If the Kings can't hit shots because they're tight, like there's no chance here. They're going to have, like the only way they're winning this game is with offense. They are 29th in defense at home. They're a worse home team than they are on the road. AC put in our chat, you like the Kings more here? Why?
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you. Those are very justified arguments. I can argue the other side. The fact that they haven't been here before, the fact that they're not feeling the pressure. It's the defending champs. They had a bad season. They're supposed to go in and dominate this team that's never been to the playoffs. And if you look at the Kings individually, those guys are not scared. Like De'Aaron Fox is not going to be scared of the big moment. Malik Monk, who owns this team head to head, is not going to be scared of the big moment. Sabonis is going to dominate the glass. I think the swing player here is going to be the Sabonis Draymond Green matchup. I know Green matches up very well against him, but if Sabonis is if if he's aggressive offensively, I think he's going to get Draymond into foul trouble. And without Draymond, I think the Warriors are toast.
And Matt, one more thing. You can't forget, Mike Brown came from the Warriors. It's not like
True.
they're just facing up against this team. It's like they don't know what they're gonna throw at him. I really think Mike Brown will have his team ready. If they want to have a shot at this series, you have to come out and punch the Warriors in the mouth early. And Andrew Wiggins as well. Main player, key player, come back in there. He's gonna mess up everything. He's gonna be super rusty as well. I'll be looking at the Kings to early and often in this one. AC, I do like them first quarter, first half as well, but full game. I don't see this as one where the Warriors come out in the third quarter. I actually think the Kings put their foot on their neck. This could be a smack city spot for the Kings, in my opinion. Then the Warriors come back in game two, man. The Warriors are not. I feel like like exactly what you're thinking. That's what everybody's gonna think. All the money's on the Warriors here. The line hadn't budged. Kings come out here and win game one in emphatic.
That's not true though. So this open Kings -1, it flipped to Warriors -1, and then it flipped back. It moved the other way. This open Kings went to Warriors on the early, and then the public came in, and the public's pushing Kings because the public's like, come on, the Warriors aren't that good. Look at them. Like, I'm going to be all smart here. And I'm like, this is a matchup problem. This is not about like how good the Kings are. Like, I've agreed that like the Kings are underpriced in the market. The Warriors are overpriced as far as their overall series goes. It's just that when I get into the matchups, this does not look promising for them at all. Like AC mentioned, like the Domantas Sabonis stuff here. I really got to stress this. Sabonis in the regular season had a -17.3 net rating on court versus the Warriors. It's bad. Like, yeah. I went back and watched all of the pick and rolls that involved Sabonis in this series. Woo, it's not promising, guys. This is a tough one for them. Like
the Kings, the Kings are not going to win because of their defense. No, that's for sure. I think the three of us can agree on that. I think it's going to be a run and shoot. I do agree with Matt. Maybe game one, there's an under look there, but maybe Jay can back me up on this from a betting principle, whether you take public, sharp money out of the equation, when there's a money line flip, that to me is a huge sign in the market. And then when it flips back, that's even a bigger sign to me. So like, I like the Kings a lot. I don't know if it's Smack City yet, but it's most likely going to be my strongest NBA play of the weekend.
This is interesting. Man. So in the market right now, you can track this on the app. You can get +1.5 Warriors at a book, and you can get +1 Kings -115 at a book. Like, this is there. I'm waiting until the very end. I think the Kings money is going to continue to come in, and then I'm trying to get the best money possible on Warriors money line. I will say I like the under in this matchup as well. So the total here is 238.5 in the market. I've got this projected at 234.5. It's still sitting at 238.5. It hasn't moved. I think the under here is a pretty solid play. So Kings defense is bad at home, but the part of this is built off of the overall numbers for the Warriors and the Kings. I think the Warriors defense plays better here than it has on the road throughout the course of the regular season. Much of that's based. We talked about this on the series preview pod. You can go back and listen to it. That 4-man lineup that's got Steph and Clay and Draymond and Looney before we even get to Wiggins, that's a 109 defensive rating on the road this season. Like, think about that. Like, they have this terrible road record, and yet those starters not only kill their minutes, but they also wind up putting up a sub 110 defensive rating. So I think the Warriors are going. I genuinely think that this Kings offense is a regular season offense. I love it. It's a lot of fun. I love this Kings team. I'm not being like patronizing. I genuinely love it. Guys, this is such a step up. Like, this is such a step up with what you're going to be facing. You have to deal with you don't get like the soft, like, oh yeah, they're running out Jordan Poole and Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. No. You're not getting that. Like, you're going to be getting staggered Warriors rotations with multiple starters on the floor. This is a big challenge for them. So I don't mind the first half spot. I think there's a chance they get off to a pretty good spot and then Warriors wear them out by the end of the game. But I could also see it going the other way, where it's like they come out and that crowd. I've seen this a lot where that crowd's supposed to be so amped and like, what a great opportunity, this huge home court advantage. And then like the other team, especially this Warriors team, it's like, oh no, it's 17-4. And the air just whoosh.
Man, In my opinion, I feel like the Warriors have to win with their depth. You don't want. I think the Kings starters can outplay the Warrior starters. They're not the same team. Steph Curry is not playing the same. Klay Thompson can go off. Remember, Wiggins is not in full shape right now. He hasn't been with the team for a while. That's going to throw them off. They will win with Gary Payton, Gary Payton II, Kuminga, minutes like that, Jordan Poole as well. They, in my opinion, if the Warriors win this game one, it's going to be with their bench. You don't want to try to beat the Kings with their starters. They have the advantage when it comes up against the Kings bench, in my opinion. So if they try to run a tight rotation, 7 guys, leaving guys like Kuminga on the bench, that's where I feel like they actually have the advantage. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the Kings put the Warriors out in the first round.
Okay. Let's move over to Sixers versus Nets. We'll see. I don't feel good about going against the two of you. I will say this right now. It's not like I'm like, you're like, oh, I'll show these guys. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna lose this bet already.